On your break today, we're talking about what we would do if we could do anything for a career. Slick Nick joins us, and our first listener mailbag reading. All right, time to clock out for lunch. Welcome into Paint Lunch, and thanks for spending your break with us. I'm Heavy D. With me, as always, we got Andy P. And we got the real OG, a man whose legend is completely made up, Rhino. Say hi to the hustlers, fellas.
Howdy.
Hey. We got a special guest joining us today. Great friend of the show. Only person I know better at lying than I am. Slick Nick.
Just here to promote the gay agenda, boys.
I think we do that anyway, just...
A little.
Yeah.
I mean, I promote it a lot.
You promote it better.
Bust it open frequently.
That's fine. I'm not sure what we're talking about.
Literally, that was just loaded with innuendo. I loved it. It was great.
I do my best to be slick.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm having a panic attack right now. So, just so to put this out there, every one of these assholes in this room gave me a full-blown panic attack before we hit the record button. Because I have massive heartburn tonight. I am burping all over the place, and now they have me convinced that I'm having a gallbladder attack, and I'm going to die. So
You won't die like quickly.
That's what I'm afraid of. And I didn't take my anxiety meds before I came down here.
Oh.
Well, I'm not a doctor, but I just play one on TV.
I am a doctor. No, wait. I forgot.
Is it a gay doctor on TV?
We haven't really got there yet in the season, but we're working on it.
It's season 3.
I need a romance at some point.
If he plays a doctor, it's probably gay.
Season 3.
Have you met doctors? Season 3's. That's when we'll get
You
there.
just got to give enough to get the hook in.
Prostates are going to be involved one way or another.
To get the Christian audience invested.
Would you even really want to be a doctor?
When I was younger, I did, for sure. Yeah. It wasn't a dream job, though.
No. I don't think, I guess like, that's the cliche dream job, right? Like everybody's parents want to be doctors, or
Yeah, I think it's everybody's parents' dream, probably.
that's true.
It's a
It's
vicarious dream where they're living through their children.
I actually feel it, like, because I'm like, hey, I really need one of my kids to make it because I don't want to do nothing.
Yeah, if I could produce a child, that would be cool. If they could support me.
You said you can't produce a child because of your early 20s, or
I don't have a cervix. Just to clear the air, in case anybody was wondering.
have you checked?
People have been pretty deep.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, I don't even know. We're gonna cut. I don't know. We're gonna cut.
No,
Really. All right. Listen. So you don't have a cervix, then now you know.
No, I just had a really big belly for a while.
Yeah. Maybe I have a cervix.
You might have two.
It's from the big belly. Wow, you hurt my feelings
If it
pretty
comes
early
down to
on.
the stomach, we are rocking cervix
Yeah.
right now.
If that's what it's about, I'm not
Cervi,
sure.
I don't know what the plural for that is.
Turns out my dream job is being an OBGYN.
I don't think that's necessarily untrue, is it?
Boy, are you in the right room?
I would like to stay as far away from that field as possible.
Are you sure?
Really
feels like-
sure.
I don't know. It feels like you could be extra insulting about it. And it was like, are you going to do anything down here at all?
Do you do any kind of lawn maintenance?
You don't do anything, do you? This is disgusting. Yeah. So today we're going to talk about dream jobs, right?
I was about to say we had a hell of a segue into that a moment ago, and then that long since passed.
Yeah.
We fell off the Segway. It kept rolling. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, we tried segues last podcast episode.
Yeah.
I don't know. We really don't like to segue. It's just jump around into bullshit.
You know, I really thought the Segway was going to be part of the future. You know, the way they marketed it.
Look at segue.
And then they took the handlebars off, and then gave it to kids, and then it took the fuck over.
That's all
I
they
just want
do.
to point that out.
My favorite thing about that is when
Segways.
people still ride the just hoverboards just on the street instead of like the scooters they get in cities, and people are just riding hoverboards. And I was like, I feel like at any time you're gonna die.
Don't you feel like they wasted the name hoverboard on that?
Oh,
like
100%.
When we get a real one,
Well, you think how many they would have sold if the internet didn't exist and other people didn't see them first?
board.
Oh yeah, if it was just word of mouth.
It was just hoverboards, and everybody was like, "Yeah, let's go fucking
you
buy
order
hoverboards."
through the Sears catalog.
Actually, I don't think they could have sold any more than what they actually sold.
You ever feel like those hoverboards were like secretly convened and created by like surgeons? It's like,
Yes.
let's get this to as many people as we can. Because everybody I know of has broken like an elbow,
How many-
knee, skull.
Trampolines too. It's the same crew.
Trampolines.
There's just
oh my
there's
God.
a cult of doctors making lawn darts and trampolines and
It's just Blue Cross Blue Shield, just the cabal of insurance companies.
My wife worked in a trauma center, literally doing x-rays. And she would say, literally, like every Saturday and Sunday, she would have at least one trampoline patient.
well,
At
sure.
least one.
I broke my
Of some
collarbone on a
child's
trampoline.
growth plates going through their
Shout out Montez. Broke my collarbone. So,
man.
Rhino, what's your dream job?
It's really weird because it's kind of an extension of this. Like growing up, I was obsessed with ESPN news anchors. Like Dan Patrick was my god. Steve Levy, Stuart Scott, Rich Eisen is really my god. Like I loved all of these guys and all their like witty catchphrases that they put out on SportsCenter in the morning. Like still to this day, I will use Stuart Scott's "Cooler Than the Other Side of the Pillow" way too much.
Those years on ESPN was like they were better than the sports.
Golden era.
Yeah.
Golden. Like all of these guys like Scott Van Pelt and all of them, they went on and they've had their own like, you know, solo careers outside of ESPN and they've all been incredibly successful. And you look at like even in podcasting, like people coming from sports that went into broadcasting a little bit. And now, I mean, like look at McAfee. McAfee makes
Yeah.
a fortune. And I like talking sports. It's like you ever feel like you have that one thing in your brain. It's like if you could just extract that, you could be the doctor. Like, I have so much
No.
random sports bullshit in my head that I can just call out the drop of a dime. If I could just pull all of that out and put textbooks in there, I'd be in good shape.
I've never been more removed from a topic. I know jack shit about sports.
It's like, but you know something about talking, and that's kind of the ideal of it.
I
Feels
know a lot
like
about stuttering.
the knowledge.
that's one of my things. Like, every single time, like, we do work, like, leadership, like, meetings and stuff where you go through, they have you do these strength assessments, all these different things, and mine always comes to like 97% extrovert.
I always get so sick when he talks about management shit.
But that's the part I do love
like-
that part because it's like, all right, basically, I'm finally getting validation that I'm a bullshitter.
Oh
It's
yeah,
pretty much that's what it's telling me. It's like we can put this guy into a room.
my
and he can
validation bit
figure
of
out
bullshitter is everybody believes my lies.
Did you have strict parents?
Pentecostals.
Oh, that's why you're a great liar. If you have strict parents, you're a phenomenal liar.
My dad was a pastor.
Oh, well, yeah,
I
you're
can
in date.
confirm what he said. This room confirms the whole situation.
100%.
Did I have a strict upbringing? Everybody's just nodding.
Everybody's like, "Yep."
That's why
Yeah, how about you, Nick?
Sundays
Good
one
lie?
song
Absolutely,
Wednesday.
phenomenal at it.
Phenomenal at lying. You know why? Couldn't leave his house for 12 years.
Brilliant liar.
Wonderful liar.
Doogie Howser.
Oh man, but yeah, that would be the dream someday. Just be able to call like a Super Bowl or something.
Just I mean, like,
Chase it, baby.
yeah. Have you done any of it?
No, not really. Like this is really the closest I've got into like recorded audio or anything like that. But I don't know. Maybe at some point jump into like local sports.
What if you have to
and
call
stuff.
cricket? You got to know what a crumpet is before you can play cricket.
Yeah, I don't want to call cricket. I mean, I really don't want them to put me on like one of like the Thanksgiving dog shows.
Well, not Casey Jones.
Like I would end up like, man, I
Jones.
really want to do the Super Bowl, and they're like, actually, we're going to give you the halftime dog show.
Yeah.
Like that would be a nightmare.
Pupper Bowl.
The Pupper Bowl. Like, at least give me like the celebrity death
I
match.
think more people watch the
halftime
Pupper
show that we used to.
I think
have
more
back in the
people
day.
watch the Pupper Bowl than you think they do.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
Yeah. I think they would give you like sideline of a Jets Washington game.
God, that really just hit a nerve. Like, can we bring back celebrity death match?
The celebrity death match.
Remember when they used to do the
Yeah.
halftime shows of that? That was epic.
I mean,
I would call that.
yeah, that
Yes.
triggered a memory. Yeah, I forgot that it was that they did.
Freaking Mills Lane. Let's get it on.
How much do straight people care about the halftime show at the Super Bowl?
Ooh, that's a
So
long
it depends on
conversation.
who's doing it, right? Because, like, I mean, obviously Rihanna was great, but
But you don't really care.
well, there's things I have to do at halftime.
Right.
You know, I can't.
Well, you host a feast.
Right.
So-
there's a lot going on, so I don't get to watch much of it. But like, if Prince is there, well, of course, if Prince is there now, I'm gonna. I want to watch it.
You're
for
probably
sure.
in hell. I mean, or heaven, or wherever. You know, I don't want to make a judgment call on Prince.
Or me. What the fuck?
I know where you're going.
I don't. That hurt my feelings too. You've hurt my feelings 10 minutes, and you've hurt my feelings 3 times.
I'm sorry, you invited me here and you know who I am.
I'm not even sure I invited you.
I just showed up.
Yeah, he's here. Yeah, let's put Nick on. He's here anyway. It's fine. What about you, Andy? Do you got one?
Sometimes I'd like to be an actor and get paid for acting like a human, but really and truthfully, I think I don't know, like something with robots because that's where it's going. And I just, I'd rather be a part of it than under it.
Victim to it.
Yeah, I hate to be like all doom and gloom, but
So you want to be Skynet and not John Connor?
is
to an essentially what you're saying?
Yeah.
I can see that. I don't think it's if it's your brain, it's still artificial intelligence.
I'd like to have a hand in it too. Like at least that way I might be able to
A hand in your
steer-
brain?
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be great. I got no control over that thing right now. No, just a hand in robotics in general because I might be able to steer a little bit of them towards not fucking killing me and the rest of humanity, and that's really all I'm concerned about.
Without going into a whole thing about introducing everybody that you don't know them, Andy P is probably the smartest person that I know, but also the dumbest person I've ever met.
Oh, it's great.
So-
I've got like this extreme level of like hypercritical, but like no self-awareness to do anything with it.
So you are an android.
Yeah, pretty much. So I just want to be. I just want
stereotype right there, though. Is like incredibly genius, incredibly like unself-aware.
It feels that way, the whole thing.
Do you ever think about what part you'll fit in the Android future? Like if it becomes a reality?
Oh, it'll be a reality. It'll be a reality in the next 30 years for sure, I think. But
You're hoping
Like
also
integrated
a
with
little bit.
people?
to an extent. I mean, shit. Walmart runs test stores with like all these robots that go through and they scan outs and clean the floors and they get stuck in aisles next to each other and can't move and it's hilarious. A human has to come.
Well,
move
doesn't
them.
Disney like have the number one? Like they have the lead in robotics research in the world.
I have no clue.
So since they've been involved with like animatronics so early on,
Well,
like,
the
they're-
Spider-Man one is crazy at Universal Studios.
Yeah, well, they
the
said
flip and everything.
like
Yeah.
the new pirate shit
Mhm.
like is like completely real. It looks like
Yeah.
like nothing looks fake at all, and it's all robots.
I have no doubt.
So
Like the Hall of Presidents is insane.
well, they have all the money, literally all of it.
There's a whole conspiracy
all of it.
line you could go down.
Ryan wants to work for them.
Yeah.
Walton and all that.
Well, the thing is, you get like CG is very quickly becoming a thing of the past. Like people, or CGI, or whatever you want to call it. Like people are not wanting to go that route because, I think it was actually, the other podcast that you've been working on was listening to where you guys were adamantly talking about how bad She-Hulk was.
Oh
And
yeah,
it was really hard to kind of consume that
Yeah.
medium and walk through it and watch it because you couldn't get invested in it because it just kept like jarring
Yeah,
you
if-
back to
if
reality.
you-
You're like, this is not something that I'm really in. Right
yeah.
now.
If you've
I
not
can't
checked out
understand
the Unsuccessful podcast on YouTube that I do with another friend of mine, you should check it out because we had subtitles on the first episode and they were AI generated subtitles and they were ridiculous. They were funnier than anything we did on the entire episode. They were awesome. It's because they just can't understand us, and that was great about it.
When I was younger, like I thought I was going to be, I didn't think I was going to be, but I wanted to be like a child actor or like an entertainer of some kind. So then I did what I thought was going to be my dream job when I interned at Disney. Like that
yeah.
was the dream job.
Right.
And
I forget you did that.
yeah, and that was in 2013, and I was in attractions. I worked in the Haunted Mansion, and that was an experience in itself with people dumping out their family members' ashes in the ride, and it
Oh,
gets
what the fuck?
Oh yeah,
What?
like the tagline of the Haunted Mansion is that there are 999 happy haunts, like there are
Shut
that many ghosts,
up.
and they want their family member to be the last one.
Yeah, but they know the other ones aren't real.
They don't know that their families go out in a Dyson. I'm sucking up dad with a power drill.
Jesus.
Like it's not good.
Please don't put your mother there.
Please don't bring her to Disney, period, if she's in a bag. Like,
Yeah.
like, no. But I thought that would be my dream job. And it was just miserable because, one, they paid you like $13 an hour, which is fine, I guess, because you get free entry to the park and discounts and stuff, which is fine. But then they charge you $800 a month to rent an apartment they own already.
Oh,
And you're with 3 other people in a room, and they're like,
that is fucking genius.
yeah, at the time I was 21 or 22, and my roommate was a 32-year-old guy from Santa Barbara who was a chef. He went to culinary school and was working in fast food at Disney. Great guy. Shout out Brian. And then I had this guy who was literally the grandson of a former like mafioso from Westchester, New York. His name was Chris. And then the other guy, his name was Ben. And he went to LSU and he was just an alcoholic. But
Great company.
yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be my dream
Sounds
job.
like
It was
an
the most
episode of
miserable
Real World.
experience.
Everybody
Yeah.
working for fake money.
I remember you being so excited about it though.
Yeah, I was so excited. And then the very first day I was there, I saw a girl inside of a Mickey Mouse costume literally railing coke while they have like the characters have attendants, and their attendant was behind them like picking like cat hair or like lint off of them because they had worn a part of the costume home accidentally and it was covered in lint. And this girl was out of her mind.
Not
Your own
accidentally.
Your own coat.
Out of her mind. Yeah, no, it's crazy. You see wild stuff downstairs because there's 21 miles of tunnels underneath the parks that no one ever sees.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it smells like hot garbage all the time. There's no magic under there.
Hot garbage. And
There's no magic.
No.
They have
Only the
crazy
magic that you
tunnels.
make
There has to be
your own.
I wish they'd make a great movie about the Disney tunnels.
I'm sure there are a couple of documentaries.
Yeah, but I want to see like a horror flick about
Like,
it.
I've legit never heard of any of this. Did
Yeah.
not know this was a
Well,
thing.
who the fuck do you know works at Disney?
Apparently
You didn't
now
know about
Nick.
you didn't know about the utilidor and the tunnels?
No.
Oh, all the park is built on top of tunnels. That way you never see. Okay, have you ever been to Disney?
No.
Okay, well each park inside Magic Kingdom has a different name, and all the characters have different costumes, and everybody that works there, right? You don't want to see somebody where I work in Adventureland, right? You don't want to see where I worked in Liberty Square, but you don't want to see somebody in that costume in Tomorrowland because it wouldn't work
Right.
aesthetically. So they have to go down behind the scenes into the tunnels so they can pop up wherever they need to be.
So the whole thing's like a theater stage. basically.
Yeah, and everything is built to trap you. Like when you walk in, they tell you this in training. Like the roads are narrowed to focus your vision on the castle. They have pheromones and fake scents. Everything you smell in the park is not real.
Nice.
Yeah, like the cookie smell, like when you walk into a bake shop or something, is not real.
Well,
they
yeah,
have
they pop
industrial
that
grade
shit.
vents to pump it all out, and they
dude.
put fake scent in.
Yeah, all
Selling
fast
that
food restaurants do
experience.
that shit.
Mhm.
They all have a unique smell because it's the smell they pump.
Yep. And they have a color they created that is invisible to your peripheral vision. Like you cannot perceive that color to your sides.
I can't even fathom. Well, I can't even fathom what you said just now.
It's just a color they use to cover stuff up that they don't want you to see. Like the parts of the park where the cast members would go down into the tunnels, they're always colored this color because if you're walking down the street, your eyes can't see it.
Yeah. That I mean,
so I always thought it was like wild how they set up
I mean-
like grocery stores,
That's the
like
magic.
impulse shopping aisles
Isn't
and
that
things like
wild?
that. But like this is like the grocery store and like impulse direction of theme parks.
well, I
Like,
mean,
it's
they're the
terrifying.
goats at it.
No,
so
I mean,
like,
they're I'm sure there's years and years of research that goes into this. It's just,
You want to hear an industry secret?
oh boy, do I.
more than
And,
anything.
and by this,
more
I mean,
than anything.
please, Dad. No, but like, you cannot die on Disney property. You cannot die because they have their own police department. They will not declare you dead on their property.
Oh, so nobody's ever died there.
No, you can't die in Disney.
So they will drag your ass across that line and you die
Yeah.
on the other side.
Even they have their own EMTs, so you cannot be declared dead on Disney
Oh, right.
property.
They just won't. They're like, no, they're alive. Well, they're
They were
missing
alive
their
till they
head.
crossed out of Disney's.
They don't have a head.
Well, they were still blinking.
they were
fine.
inside of a Dyson.
We were worried. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So that's your not dream job.
I thought it was my dream,
Right.
and then I guess my dream now would just to be one of the guys that jump out of the Red Bull copters and like film the other guys who are doing like the mega stunts.
So you just want to film the stunts.
Yeah, I don't want to actually have the pressure of having to commit to it, but if my buddy's going to do it, I'll do it. But I don't have the sack to do it on my own.
That's unique as fuck though. That's awesome.
Not something I was expecting. to
No,
hear.
that's unique
I
as
love
fuck.
it.
Listen, I was 300 pounds forever. I would fall like a fucking sack.
I don't think it'd be as hard to do as you think it would. Like I think you could like I think that's just fucking whoever will volunteer to do it.
I don't think it's hard to do. I just think it's like there's a lot of competition probably to get it, like you're saying.
Maybe.
And then also it's like, who do you apply to? Who do I call?
I don't. Have you called Red Bull?
Do you
I have not
wings?
called Mr. Bull. I have
you
not.
called Mr. Bull? He goes by Red.
Cool.
Okay.
That seems like that could be appropriation
Yeah.
at some point. We should probably watch that.
So listen, as much as I love like all of this other conversation about, I can literally just sit and listen to him talk about Disney all day long.
Oh,
like,
yeah?
I want to know like, obviously, Brian going back to management mode. Like, what's the retention rates in this place? Like, how miserable are these?
Do you know
people?
that everybody hates you? When you
I
talk?
know, but I'm like seriously, I think it's a valid point. Like, how frequently? Like, what's the life expectancy of an employee at Disney?
I don't know the
3
answer
months?
to that, but I can
6
answer
months?
the retention
you
rate
can't die
question.
there.
I don't know how.
You can't die there, but I mean,
Yeah.
Right. But the thing is that Disney has this I don't know what they call it, but it's like a policy where their full-time employees are very, very limited. Anytime you walk in that park, it's being ran by a 21-year-old. Like
I don't doubt it.
the entire park is interns. The only full-time employees are usually like upper management, not even the coordinators, but the people above them. And then, people who were there in the 70s or 60s and the 70s and
Like
are locked
holdovers.
in. Like they can't get rid of them.
Grandfathered.
Yeah. Mhm.
That makes sense.
Literally knew Walt.
Yeah.
Something crazy.
They know where he's frozen at.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't like the more you learn about it, like just even shit you told me just now, like I don't necessarily doubt that he's frozen. He's-
I don't know if he was frozen in life, but from what I've heard, he's probably not
Right, he's
frozen
not-
now. He's probably really hot.
oh yeah.
Probably very warm. Sorry, Walt.
Sorry, Walt.
Well, like they always
Probably
say, it's like the
burning up.
happiest place in the world. The only people that demographic that hits is people that are like 8 years of age or under. Everyone else is like, "God, this is expensive. It's hot. I hate my fucking life. Like I don't want to be here." And as
Yeah.
in the way he said, the employees probably literally loathe every single person. That
Yeah, I
they're
do
around
feel
at
like
all times.
we could do a whole episode about working in amusement parks.
Oh, I'm so down to talk about the awful stuff at Disney.
We could we need to find somebody who's worked at like Busch Gardens or some shit. You know what I mean?
Kings Island.
Kings Island, because Kings Island is like the barrel. You know what I mean? It's like you go there because you can't afford other theme parks.
Yeah, well, if you've been to Disney, it's exactly like it, except like you're saying, it's like the Kmart version.
Yeah.
of it. It's exactly like it.
Kmart. This is a dollar store version. Kmart's closed. I think.
Exactly.
It's just it's super interesting because like we were talking about before, and like I didn't even know half of the stories of things that he was going to talk about. But some of my favorite content creators like worked at Disney, like that Straw Hat Goofy guy that I follow on TikTok.
Oh yeah, he's great.
I love him. Like he's always like, "Hey, can I be your movie guy?" Yeah, he's totally my movie guy. But like I never knew that he worked at Disney and started going through all the different things and kind of went through some of the caveats that you
Yeah.
kind of discussed, and it sounded like it's a miserable place to work. Like.
It was magical to me because I knew I was only there for 6 months.
Yeah.
Like it was a limited thing, and when something's limited, it means more to you, I think. But I couldn't imagine being
And
a
you
full
can
time.
suffer through it for that long.
Right. And they operate on a point system where it's like if I miss, like, say I don't go to work today, right? I can miss for 7 more days and it's still one
Oh, it's
occurrence.
one occurrence. God, I cannot. I am so glad that's not my work's policy.
Stacked occurrences are fantastic.
I would, anytime I'm going to be late, I'm like, well, I'm just going to miss a week.
Well, see, before my workplace changed ownership, name, like all this crap, like 15 different times, you used to be able to do that. Like you could miss 3 days and stack it into one.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if that's still a thing now.
It'd be the worst fucking thing for me.
Yeah, no, we would just not go to work at all ever.
It was either 2 or 3 days. Like as long as you recorded and said, "Hey, I'm out for this same reason," it was one occurrence.
But you guys would get a ton of content because we would just record all the time because we
stay here.
because we just call in every.
I don't even make it to a half hour of protected time.
Yeah,
Like I turn it in before it even builds up to a half hour. Like I don't.
yeah.
I
My
just-
my PTO's like as soon as I get a full day, I'm like, put that in for tomorrow. let's get that out of here.
I've never rolled a vacation day in my life. Not one time.
No, why would you? You can't take it with you. What if I get fired? If I have 40 hours of PTO and I get fired.
At one point, I had
banking it.
120 hours.
Yeah, of course you
Back.
fucking did. Nobody in here is surprised as a motherfucker.
I had like
I would
120.
cry if I had that much PTO.
No, yeah, I would, out of happiness,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I would do with it.
you would take 126 hours in a row
That's
off.
exactly what you
Sleep a
do.
lot. That's
Exactly what I do. I'm not going to be here for 3 weeks. I hope you guys understand.
I was sitting here thinking 126 hours isn't that much, and then I forgot about the 8-hour workday.
Oh, yeah. Like
That's a lot of time.
One
Oh, yeah.
extra
Yeah,
day
I
off.
just
a
forgot
week.
about it.
8-hour work days. Remember those?
Yeah, no.
I don't know. Like I loved like having it there and knowing that I could use it whenever I needed to, but finally got to a point where I just flat out took a week off, came back to work for like 2 weeks, took another week off, worked for 3 weeks, took another week off. And I was like, now I understand what this is here for. I don't hate my life anymore.
That's the fucking dream job.
My dream job, though, is not to do a fucking thing. My dream job would be to just sit on my fucking couch and fade away into oblivion. Is that a job?
We're about 20 feet from that right now. Like, if we really want.
My question is, do you want to just stop existing, or are you getting an income in that period? Like, do I need to vouch for you and say that there's something wrong?
If it's my dream job,
Mhm.
I don't want anybody to ask me that question.
I don't dream of labor, so it's hard for me to
I don't dream-
imagine what you're thinking.
Yeah, I can't. If we're talking about the term dream job,
Mhm.
you're meaning in my dreams, I would still have a goddamn job.
Right, exactly. I'm
Now,
gonna
why am I dreaming?
yeah.
Like, my dream job is not a job at all.
See. That feels
It's
like
called disability.
exactly. That's
Yeah,
SSI.
I'm 3 baconators away from it.
Somebody
We've
call
already
Eric
had this
Siegelman.
conversation before. That's why he gets the handicap
Three-
stop.
three ba-
He's already
I'm
handicapped.
3 baconators away from the disability check anyway.
Shut up.
Today's episode is brought to you by Vandalay Industries. Since 1992, Art Vandalay has been New York's #1 importer and exporter of latex and latex-related goods. Currently hiring for latex salesmen. Apply in person only. Now back to the show. All right, everybody, welcome back in. Now we're going to do something a little different, something we've not done before. Last week, we asked you to email us your work fails. And then every week, we're going to try to read one from a viewer. Can't guarantee it, but keep them coming. That way, we'll have them. And then just try to keep them short so we can read them on the air and talk shit about you. That's kind of what we're doing. Rhino's going to read the first one.
So this one comes from the great illustrious Dave. Hey, hustlers. So I worked at a specific retail store that wears red shirts and khakis. I mean, I have a couple that come to mind right off the bat. I had to use the bathroom, but as a cashier, we don't get that luxury, apparently. The manager was not letting me leave the register despite my pleas to use the bathroom for well over an hour due to being short-handed and short-staffed. I was absolutely fuming, so naturally I did what any grown man would do in that situation. I shit myself. Right then and there in front of everyone. I'm assuming in front of God and everybody. I went home leaving the manager there by himself for the rest of the day, and he had to clean up my shit off the floor because
Serves him
I was
fucking
wearing
right.
shorts that day.
Serves you
That
fucking
is
right.
Alpha move.
Oh God, I think that's so funny. Because
Damn. Dave. I'm impressed.
shout out Dave for being so raw.
He was definitely raw. He was sitting that shit the whole way home, man. He was chafed.
I actually am not surprised.
No, and I think I may know who this Dave is, like without a whole lot of context looking into it, because the red shirt and khakis really kind of just gives it away.
I just automatically assumed it was Target, and he says wearing shorts, and I was like, I know that.
Well, I have
That
no clue.
Commune wouldn't let you wear.
I have no clue who Dave
Yeah.
is, but Dave, I want you to let you know that I too relate to shitting all over yourself at work. Been there
Oh yeah, you've been there too.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a whole thing about that. I think Ryan's been there. We've all done that. That's definitely. I don't feel like any of us gave it to our manager like that.
That's what I was about to say. There's a big difference between an incident and an accident where you accidentally shit on yourself.
Yeah, and then
When
him.
you just elaborately just
Established dominance.
give
by
it-
shit in the floor.
I don't know.
go full on gorilla mode, like baboon
Look you
mode,
straight in the
and
eye.
shit.
Full eye contact.
I know this probably attacks you a little bit, but everybody dreams a little bit about doing something like that to a soup.
Yeah.
Like everybody wants to, so many embellished stories about getting fired or quitting your job and shit, throwing stuff. Like most of the time, people just don't go back to work. But just one time, everybody needs one of those fucking things where you get to do something to a manager to quit a job That's so worth it.
What's like that tagline that my manager always says to me? If you don't hate me a little bit, I'm not doing my job. So that kind of
That feels like an
lends-
excuse to be a dick.
Yeah, I think that's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
That's, you know who says that? Shitty parents.
yeah. Heard that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I plead the fifth. I didn't say
Invoke
that.
the fifth.
I'm always going to invoke the fifth on that.
It's fair.
Wait, what are we invoking the fifth on?
Whether he's a bad parent or not. We've already been over it. I was like, been
I
over
know
him
I'm
being
a bad parent, but
I would be an
I'd
abysmal
embrace it.
parent. My kids would be so fucked.
Oh,
they would
you're
be
so full of shit.
no. Listen, I'm so narcissistic and
Oh,
egotistical.
all right. No, that's true.
And my head is so big, and I would just think they're so much dumber than me.
Do you mean your head is actually big?
Both.
Yeah, it's both.
Confirmed
Yeah.
hats don't fit, and I have a
Yeah,
big ego.
we talked about Rhino's head being gigantic in the other episode.
It's a
but
fucking huge
yeah,
cranium.
It's gigantic.
Well, like growing
You
up,
weren't here, though,
Here's what's
so-
funny is I never knew Nick personally. Like I would come in your store from the time to time, and I would see Nick in there playing tournaments and stuff like that. But like I always remember everyone saying Ryan has the biggest fucking head of anyone I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, there's some dude that plays cards.
you seen Big Head Nick?
That's got a bigger head than I do. And they go, Nick, yeah, his head is fucking bigger than yours.
Well, that's what, when you were struggling with weight issues and like,
When you were a fat bastard.
yeah, when you were a fat fuck like the rest of us, I just thought you were doing it to match your head size.
What, you thought I was doing what? Maintaining my enormous girth?
Yeah, just to match your
Oh,
head.
just for aesthetics.
Because that's the only
keep
reason
the
I stay fat
proportions,
is 'cause my head's too
That's what
big.
we've said before. Like me and Dusty have the same size head, but his is proportionate to his body.
Yeah.
Mine is not. I look like a walking fucking Pez dispenser.
You look kind of jacked, though, at this table.
Oh man!
You like, you
If
have
I
a
was
burnt
dying
picture
from a
body.
gallbladder attack right now, I would feel so buff.
Yeah.
It's like,
But I lost my shit at the Pez dispenser thing.
it's just Spencer.
Was not
Fucking
expecting
jaw pops open and candy comes out.
Oh my God. I used to work with a girl that had her jaw broken when she was a kid, and it was a loose jaw, and she could like unhinge it almost like a snake. Also,
Was she in 13 Ghosts?
no, but ironically, she had really bad like stomach problems, so she couldn't poop regularly, and she would get so backed up that she would vomit.
Dude,
Like
what the
Yeah.
fuck do you do? Like,
Currently-
what do you have? Like, what the
I save
situations that you're in?
saves lives.
I don't feel like our upbringings were like that completely different. I'm just,
Oh, well, this was a girl at Alice Lloyd.
no. I'm talking about the direction you went with your life and people being there, and you just always shit like that happening to you.
Well,
Like-
it's not so much the situation as it is like I find the weirdos somehow. They're
Yeah.
attracted to me.
Yeah, and on the outside,
Found this room.
you found this fucking room. These
Yeah,
guys,
exactly. I'm in this room, and
Yeah.
I'm so much cooler than you all.
We're friends. Yeah, you're cooler to people who don't know you.
Right, exactly. But I'm actually a complete waste of time and energy.
Well, I feel like if you're a waste of time and energy, that makes me feel terrible.
I don't know.
Then
This
what
is
am
the
I?
hardest I've laughed in months. So
Yeah,
Yeah, we've taken hard.
We always
I'm invested.
we always have a good time, and I hope everybody's having a good time with it. I don't know what we're gonna do about work fails. Like, do you have a bad work fail that you have anything going on?
No, not right.
I know
off the top of
Andy,
my head.
you have one, right?
Oh man, I got a lot of work fails. I've fucked
Yeah.
up a lot.
Yeah, that's why I don't even feel like I can say one because there's so many that I have.
I could probably like tell one off the rip. Just to
Yeah.
get it out there.
Yeah, because I have so many. Oh no, I do have one. That's a post work fail, and you were with me. Do you know what I'm going to tell?
No.
It's right after work, and we're leaving work.
You hit a nerve.
The biggest, the worst work fail. I literally fell in the parking lot and broke my ankle, just walking to the fucking car.
My favorite thing about it was we were walking side by side, and at one point you were, maybe one or two steps behind me, but I don't see you fall. I just see your fucking lunchbox fly in the air past me.
Is that a euphemism?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. I don't know what a euphemism is.
No, it's not a euphemism, or no, you don't know what a euphemism is. No,
It's a small boat from the Civil War era.
I think it's a large
Old
wooden
wood
ship.
then yes, it is that.
I'd really be surprised if this story was about a wooden ship.
What's weird is the last one that comes to mind for me is when I worked at GameStop. I turned into the parking lot, and it was, had a crazy shopping season. And there's like an adjacent road that kind of shoots into the parking lot, and a truck starts pulling in, and they completely cut me off. And at that moment in time, like, I was just fucking pissed. Didn't want to be coming to work. Laid on the horn and flipped the guy off. He stops the truck, opens it up, and it's like Deliverance. I'm like, I'm going to die
Literally,
right
has a
now.
banjo.
Like, I hear the banjo.
Instead of the door squeaking, it's a banjo playing. Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not
It
even at
runs
work
out.
yet. So I don't even know if it's qualified as a work fail. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to immediately swerve around this guy. He immediately hops back to truck, and I start driving laps around the whole entire shopping center. Like, not where the parking lot is, like driving around the building, like the back end where all the trash dumpsters and everything are. And I finally feel like I lose the guy. Walk in the store, feeling confident. Guy comes in shopping for Cabela's games. Like big
You
game
already
hunter.
fucking knew that's what it
and
was.
Doesn't recognize me. So the whole entire time, like, this dude's going to kill me.
You
Like, I'm
swear.
going to die right now.
So
Who the fuck buys those?
that dude,
Bro.
Those
Just
those-
him.
that's the
people that
buy
are
'em.
practicing.
Like, that's a whole episode in
And-
and of itself. But the first of the month at GameStop, you're going to sell more copies of Cabela's and Big Game Hunt. Like, all of these
Yeah.
games,
Mhm. Are they high school kids living out their fantasies?
they're all mid-30s.
They didn't graduate high school.
And they're all copies on the Wii.
Yeah.
The worst part of
Yeah,
it, they're
that's-
all Wii
We can find a
copies.
lot of those at yard
They have to
sales.
buy the console with it because no one has a Wii anymore.
But these were
That's
also
true.
the same people that came in, like, after the Wii had been out for 7 years and tried to trade it in. You're like, hey, I'm giving you $50 for this. And I spent $300 on it. Like, during the Bush administration. Like,
Jesus Christ.
Is what was your work fail?
Oh man, so one time I should have kept my fucking nose out of everyone else's business. We had a guy walking through the store, and at this time I was a supervisor, and it felt like people came to me to give me problems that I had to solve. This particular gentleman was very, very intoxicated. He had about 6 or 7 watches on up his sleeve, and by the time I actually put eyes on him and saw him, he was stuffing Legos into his pants. Right, so this was not a problem I was qualified to solve in any capacity whatsoever. So
Yeah, you don't build Legos.
no, not at all.
Right.
So I pushed that shit up the ladder. Well,
the
somehow,
Legos up the ladder? Or
yeah. Well, you'd think so. No, the corporate ladder. I went and found my supervisor and was like, "Hey, we got this guy." Well, somehow in all these conversations, there was an off-duty police officer in the store shopping, like literally off-duty with a medical reason. He's limping. Somebody's
Pinpoint
like,
out.
"Yeah." Well, somebody goes to him and is like, "Hey, we got this drunk guy. If you
Oh
want to
my
go
God.
do anything," and within, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes of him being told about it to my re-involvement in this shit, they are slamming each other into coolers
Oh, fuck.
right in front of the front end, which I'm trying to supervise at this time. So I have a bullshit obligation to be involved in this in some way. So he's literally throwing each other up against whatever. They drag each other outside. By the time I get there, a pocket knife was produced in some way. I did the
man.
movie thing and ran over and like kicked it out of the way and felt kind of badass.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So this guy
Yeah, he's
was
much cooler than
so
that, actually.
fucking like God, pickled. Like you could smell it when you got out there, but he was so far gone that he was bashing his own skull on the concrete to make it look like the cop had like hurt him and everything.
I fuck
So-
with him. He's got the right idea.
So because I witnessed all of this,
Never stop chasing a check.
I had to stay late
I'm
to
with
work.
that. I'm with
I
that.
had to give
It's my
a
dream job. remember?
recorded fucking statement to this off-duty police officer's supervisor. Within like 30 minutes of this whole occurrence, there was 7, 8 different police officers from every different jurisdiction just in the store. All the customers left because they've all got warrants, and it's like you could hear crickets. It's crazy, and I'm just sitting here like, holy shit! Like, what happened? I could have went home an hour ago if I'd left my PTO build up. But
The damn PTO.
So-
always.
But the fucking PTO, I couldn't
So-
have lived.
night goes on, right? There's a guy that's working the front end with us too, hears about it. A cop comes back, brings some Legos. The guy brings them back to the supervisors in the back room, and they're like, "Hey, man, they patted him down for weapons before he left. Where do you think they They found those
My
Legos.
God.
They were not in the prison purse.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but they were not in anywhere that you could really get to easily to check for weapons. I can verify that with my own fucking eyes. I saw 4 guys pull this guy into a cruiser. So.
That was the thing. Like he was talking about the fight, like them crashing and stuff, and like in my head, I kept like thinking of cartoon violence and like Legos coming out from this dude's tank, like everywhere. Like,
If it's slammed on the ground, he's like Sonic.
Well, when I was thinking about
Legos
him,
go everywhere.
when I was thinking about the guy like shitting out the Legos, you know, my first thing was like anal fissure, but in my brain it sounded like action figure. And I just imagined like a GI Joe just covered in like, I don't know, intestinal mud. You know what I'm saying? Like in the trenches. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
I'm sure people have smuggled GI Joes. Also,
Yeah,
intestinal mud.
I don't know if I want to share my work, Phil, because I don't know. It has a lot of I don't know, trauma attached to it. I guess it's
breeds success, baby. Trauma
Well-
breeds success.
it has bred contempt for sure. No, but here's a little backstory. So when I was 17, my mom found some like gay porn, right? So that was a big issue. My family was really conservative.
Yours or she found it like
Oh no, it was mine.
okay.
It was on the dial-up computer at the time, and it was called Pokey Main. I don't know why I remember that, but anyway, she found it right. And
Gotta catch them all.
You gotta catch them all.
he took them all for sure.
All the Geo dudes.
Fucking leaving.
Sorry, there's so many fucking.
No, you're good. But anyways, so my dad found out about it too because she told him, and it was a big deal. And they sent me to like a 6-week. It was supposed to be a 6-week conversion camp, like a conversion therapy thing. It was wild. It was out in the wilderness in like Idaho. So this is not like a good
Oh
time.
yeah. Never mind. We didn't grow up the same.
Yeah, but anyways, when I went there, I was just like, no, I really want this change. I want to walk with the Lord. So I was there for 10 weeks, and I was rebirthed
Yeah.
in the spirit, and I came home,
I'm glad.
and I've been on that straight path ever since,
Yeah.
like that white oak on the hill, baby.
Get the fuck out.
But anyways, so that happened to me, and it was very bad. Like they would make us watch gay and straight porn, right? And they would electrocute us if you go
What?
Yeah, and they would give us shocks if you would start to get an erection when the gay porn was on, but if you got one when the straight porn was on, you didn't get a shock. They would withhold our food. They'd make us take like 3 or 4 mile hikes up a mountain, and we would have to like come down ourselves, and we didn't know where we were at. It was wild shit. But anyways,
So how many tasers do you own now?
I own 0, but I own several firearms. But anyways, so I was at this job in the next county over, and it was taking care of people with mental disabilities. Loved that job. It was great.
Right.
So I worked weekends, and I was out of town, and I happened to have my boyfriend with me at the time, and we had gotten drunk the night before, and I was going to work this next day, and I thought I was going to be late if I took him home first. So I took him to my work house with me, where I stayed there during the night. Anyways, as sexual deviants are known to do,
Yeah.
I did a little fornication in the med room because it was the only room you could lock.
Sinner.
Born center. But anyways, one of the individuals I took care of tattled on me the next day, and I got fired. And this is where the trauma gets unloaded. Is that my boss was also like a pretty Christian woman, but she was not like hardcore, you know. But anyways, when she was firing me, before she fired me, I could probably sue over it, but I never will. She
Should chase that check.
I should have, but I felt an obligation. But anyways, and I mean this with all seriousness, she asked me if I wanted to exercise my gay demons and keep my job.
Did you consider it?
Did you go back to Idaho?
Well, listen, when I was 10 or 11, the preacher of my church told me he would exercise my demons, and it was not what I thought it would be. He just exercised the back door.
Exercised a lot of, what was it you said a minute ago, intestinal mud?
Yeah, the intestinal mud, yeah.
I feel like a very good exorcist.
Yeah, but the gay demons were going to come out, but I declined their offer, and I was shortly let go, and I mean immediately.
What's funny is I think I know who that is.
You probably do.
I'm pretty sure I know that person, actually.
I would just like to know who the exorcist is. who's gonna reach down in my heart and pull Jesus back out?
They're probably on Tinder.
They're probably on Grindr. I can probably pull it up right now.
They're definitely on Grindr. The Exorcist is.
For sure. 100%. And his kid, too, probably. They're probably a tag team.
Oh,
I think they made movies about this.
They do crazy shit, bro. They do crazy shit.
All right, y'all. That's our show. Appreciate Slick Nick for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
It
I
was a
appreciate
great
it.
time. It was awesome. Y'all make sure you follow us on all social medias. Almost everything's at Unpaid Lunch. So just check that out. And then keep sending us your work fails at unpaidlunch@gmail.com. So just keep sending those over. Like I said, keep them short so we can read them on the air and have a good time with that. Thanks for Dave for sending his in this time.
Yeah, shout out Dave.
Shout out Dave. Y'all got,
really appreciate you shitting on yourself.
yeah, it was awesome.
Taking one for the
Alpha move.
Yeah.
Alpha
Flex on that.
Top G.
All right, y'all got anything else for the hustlers?
No.
All right, boys. Remember, nobody's stopping you from quitting your job, but you.